What's going on, you guys? It's me, AnarchYxNinja. Today, we found a Galactic Assault Match just starting. But that's only because I just filmed this video. I got all the way through, we talked about Ahsoka, and the mic did not save to the recording, despite it saying it was recording. I looked afterwards too, it still said it was recording. So now we can only hope this one's recording. But before we get into the Ahsoka talk, we have to have an update again on my health. Again, I'm repeating myself again, but after yesterday's stream, I got off, recorded a video. The video you saw, we talked about Ahsoka. I was fine. I mean, I was still, you know, with the cough and the usual stuff. But a new problem arose. I was sitting there and my girlfriend texted me. As I was reading the text, I noticed it was hard for my eyes to focus on the message. Right in the center of my vision, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, for example, if you look at a word, it was hard to make out the word because you're focused on it. You could tell your eyes were focused, but it was like the little black patch over it, kind of just enough to mess up your vision. It's the best way of describing it was like if you look at something too bright, let's say you're inside all day, you go outside, and you go back inside, you know how your eyes are a little wonky, like they're little squiggly, little black patches? That's fine. Everybody's had that. I thought that's what it was. I didn't even pay attention. I was like, oh, guess I just looked out the window and it was a little too bright. No problem. About 10 minutes later, without even thinking about it, I went to read another message and I was focused on it. And I noticed it was doing the same thing again. I'm like, what is going on here? This is weird because I haven't looked at anything bright. I've just been laying in bed chilling. I'm like, oh man, and I kept trying to like figure it out, and weird stuff just kept happening. I couldn't figure it out. And then what got even more worrying was it got worse. As I started sitting there, a lot of squiggles just kept coming up in my eye. And like the waviness, the squiggles, I've heard it called many different things. I don't know. And I'm like, what is going on? And I noticed it was getting worse and worse. And it was like the squiggles were forming a circle around my vision. And I'm like, oh man, what in the heck? I started getting nervous, as you would, because I like having vision. I would imagine most of us here do. I don't want to be like Kanan, man. And then it got even worse. It was both my eyes, but mainly it was my left eye. That was the one causing most of the issues. And I haven't hit it or done anything like that, so it wasn't something like that. But all of a sudden, my left eye, this is a little confusing, so try to keep up. I'll try to say it slow because it's confusing for me to even say. But it was my left eye and my left eye's left peripheral vision. It was all left. Everything left. Everything left is wrong, apparently. But I noticed while I was focusing on it, it started getting blurrier. Like I could see it expanding, which really worried me. It's like slowly seeing yourself losing vision. I'm like, what in the heck is going on? And it was just the left peripheral vision. It was getting bad, and then all of a sudden, it stopped, and it went back to normal. Which really was worrying, obviously. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what that was all about, because I didn't hit it. There was nothing that I would think would cause it, right? I don't know if this is a side effect from me being sick. Was it all the coughing has like jiggled my eyes or messed them up? And I don't know. There was, if you look on Google, I looked on Google searches, but you know, those things, everything from cancer to stroke to detached retina. There's so many different things. I have no idea. But it's better now. My eye kind of hurts, like if you get that pain behind your eye after like you have a headache or something. That's kind of the way it feels, but my vision's fine, so I don't know. Anyway, if any of you have had something like that, let me know. My mom actually said she had something like that before, but it was after she had some medicine one day, and she was supposed to have it with a meal, and she didn't, and she said that's when it happened, and the doctor confirmed that that's what it was. I didn't have that problem. I didn't take any medicine yesterday, so it wasn't that. Anyway, I don't know. Let's get that out of the way. Moving on. Let's get into the Ahsoka talk. Sadly, I went through all the comments on this last vid, and where we're breaking down all of them. Now again, we have to do that all again since the mic didn't record, and I hope to God it is recording. I looked, and it says it is, so. Anyway, where do we start? One of the first things one of you guys brought up, and I even saw people on Twitter bring this up, is it was weird for Zeb not to be there with Sabine and the Phoenix Squadron, the X-Wings they went with. And that made sense. Because from what Sabine knew, not Sabine, what, now I'm forgetting her name. Green Twi'lek lady, what is her name? Hera. What Hera knew was that Ahsoka and Sabine had gone off the radar. They were gone. So they thought Sabine was in trouble. So you would think if they're going on an unsanctioned mission, like Hera was doing, you would think Zeb would have showed up. Like, hey, Zeb, you know, Sabine's missing. Let's go. So that is a little weird to not see him there, especially since we've already seen him in live action. We know they can do it, yet he didn't show up. So that was one thing that was a little questionable. At the end of the day, it's not a nitpick. We're just wondering. I wonder why he wasn't there. My whole thing was maybe he just wasn't with that fleet. Even in the show, he was off on another planet. Maybe he's off doing something. It's very easy to explain. But anyway, that would have been a good point to bring him in, but maybe they have something better in store. Who knows? What else? Let me go through. What did we say next? We had to clarify again because some people are still really confused about this. How are they going to bring Thrawn's Star Destroyers back? Wouldn't they be damaged? Or how are they going to get back through hyperspace is what somebody said. And I'm like, but we've explained that. The ship that they are bringing, or it's not a ship, it's a hyperspace ring. They've even said it in the show. I still think there's some people who don't know what hyperspace rings are. Hyperspace rings, we've seen them in the prequels. It's what you attach a ship to that doesn't have the ship itself doesn't have a hyperdrive. The hyperspace ring does. So that ship with no hyperdrive will connect to it, and that will then allow it to go through space or hyperspace. The Jedi Starfighters did that in the prequels. That's what they flew and they connected to. They go. There was a scene I think on Geonosis in the prequels where Kenobi flew there and then had to detach. That's what a hyperspace ring is. So that would be the theory is they're gonna bring his Star Destroyers or whatever ship he's with back with him. That's why they're taking a hyperspace ring. So I don't know where the confusion is coming from. To me, that's very obvious at this point, but I hope that helps clarify. And again, Thrawn could be fixing them up, and those Star Destroyers are big, and I would imagine they have some stuff on board to fix them, and he's been gone a while, so yeah, you know, and if, who knows, maybe he got help from another race out there, who knows. So there's that. What else, man? We just talked about all this, and I have to run it all through my head again. I really like them going through the saber stances before each move, and I saw somebody didn't really like that. Like, that was overdone, and I'm like, that made sense to me. They're kind of both testing before the fight what each know. A lot of shows have done that. Even Game of Thrones has done that. When, When Jaime Lannister was fighting Brienne of Tarth, they were going through the different stances to see what each other knew. They're testing each other before the fight. That's kind of what was happening there. So I don't see what the problem with that is, of why people would not like that. Because even in the sequels, I could not stand the lightsaber fights because they were just random swings. These guys clearly weren't trained, and part of that made sense, and part of it, I also just didn't enjoy watching those lightsaber fights. But here you're seeing two people go through those type of stances, which I thought was awesome, and I'm surprised people are complaining about that, or questioning that. That actually really surprised me, because I thought that would be something we all like to see, unlike Finn right here. Nobody wants to see Finn. You know, so that was weird. But I get Sabine wouldn't be able to do that very well, and I get that Shin is probably not as well-rounded as Baylan is. So it made sense to me why they were doing that. I personally love that, but some people didn't. But I saw people saying they didn't like the lightsaber fighting, and I'm like, I don't see that at all. I absolutely love this shit compared to them. I guess there wasn't enough flips if you look at it from the prequel standpoint. I kind of thought they went a little overboard in the prequels with the flips, so I mean, I guess it's just personal taste at that point. But I thought the lightsaber fights were awesome. So much better than the sequels. By far, man, by far. You like that Baylan kept his word. I do too. People are really not liking Sabine. That's not how she was in Rebels. Yeah, that's the point. Again, I feel like some people are really just missing stuff or looking for stuff to complain. Because that is the point. She went through a lot of stuff since we last saw her on Rebels. She's lost Ezra. We find out now through this that her family has died, most likely in the Jedi Purge. I don't know if they confirmed it, but that's what Baylan said to her when he read her mind. So now she's lost everybody. Ezra's all she has left. Ahsoka herself has abandoned her, and even in what Baylan said, and he's been proven right with what he's seeing in the future from what I understand, was she holds Ahsoka accountable because she, I'm guessing, stopped her training beforehand and kind of blames her master for not letting her finish her training so she could maybe go save her own family and fight the Empire then. So basically what they're saying is, from the last time we saw her, there was some training going on. Ahsoka stopped the training for whatever reasons, and now she kind of holds her responsible and herself responsible for not being strong enough to go help her family, and now they die. So she has gone through a lot of shit. I don't get where people are acting like she needs to still be the same Sabine. If you start losing everybody, you're going to change to a certain extent. So, again, I'm not getting any of that hate towards Sabine. I don't understand that, to be honest. But anyway, what's next? There was a lot of people talking, not in the comments necessarily, but on Twitter about the ending with Anakin. What is that? Is he a Force ghost in the World Between Worlds? Is it... We don't know. We really don't know. Like, I thought it was... Somebody said it was Anakin's, Darth Vader's saber on Anakin. And somebody in the comments said, no, if you brighten it up, it's actually Anakin's lightsaber. So, okay, we're back at square one. Well, that's weird, but they still did play the Vader theme at the end. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know. We're going to have to just wait and find out, because everybody's torn on this one. Myself included, I don't know, man. I didn't look at the lightsaber, but it did play the Vader theme, which I was like, well, that's interesting, because I thought it would be like a happy Anakin moment, since this is a de-aged Anakin. Side note, I'm not getting the hate of his de-aging. Like, personally, I thought it looked a little weird, but it's not something I really would care about, dude. We watched the original trilogy that was just garbage. Even some of the reworks they did to it, George Lucas himself did, were garbage. So I don't see where the Anakin hate is coming. The only thing I would bring up with the Anakin de-aging that was a little weird is, why didn't they de-age him in, what's it called? Kenobi. I think it was Kenobi. I don't believe they de-aged him in Kenobi when they had flashbacks, but they would de-age him here. That would be the only thing I would bring up. But again, it's not even a bit of hate. It's just like, well, that's interesting. And some people are like worked up about it, you know. Some people aren't. Some are just questioning it like I am. That would be the only thing. Like, that's a little weird. Why not de-age him there, but you would de-age him here? Get your shit together, Star Wars. Make up your mind. Are we de-aging them or not? You know, that would be my only thing. Not a big deal. My next thing oh man, I'm all over the place here. Is Anakin a Force ghost in the World Between Worlds? Is Ahsoka really in the World Between Worlds, or is she tripping? I think she's really in there. Somebody brought up a good point in the comments was, did Anakin pull her into the World Between Worlds? Now, again, I don't know. That is the theory. So she's falling, he grabs her, pulls her in. That's the same way Ezra did to Ahsoka to save her from Vader. Which, I mean, could have happened. We don't know. But that, again, this is why I'm not a big fan of the World Between Worlds. It opens too many possibilities, and I don't like that. There's too many possibilities of people coming back to life that died, and I'm not a big fan. But now it opens the possibility and the question of, well, Ezra was alive when he was in the World Between Worlds, and he went through the portal to bring her back from the Vader fight in Rebels. Okay, so Anakin's dead at this point, we know. So is his Force Ghost in there, and can his Force Ghost grab her and pull her in, or is this something else? I don't know. Again, never been a fan of the World Between Worlds from the moment we saw it. I like some of the stuff that's come out of it. We get to see Ahsoka in live action. I wish they had done it a little differently when it comes to that, but it did look awesome, though, in the World Between Worlds in live action. It did look awesome, I'll give them that, but it just opens the possibility for me. There's so many people, I even saw on Twitter again today, we talked about it last vid, where people are like, it's not time travel, Dave Filoni said it's not. I don't really care what they say, it is time travel. She was dead in this fight, and 2 years later, if I got the timeline right, Ezra goes back and grabs her, and now she's alive. That is time travel. I don't care what you say. He went back, saw the fight, and was able to alter the fight that had already happened. That is time travel, no matter what way you want to call it, and personally, I don't like it. But, again, it's not ruining Star Wars for me, but I don't get where this controversy is coming from. That is time travel. I don't care what he calls it. Like that. Anyway, whatever. But that opens the whole question of, is Anakin, did he pull her in there? Is he a Force Ghost? We know Force Ghosts can grab stuff. Luke just used Force projection in The Last Jedi, which, again, is something I didn't really like seeing in live action. I'm like, is that opens up so many possibilities again. Some of these possibilities I don't like. Some are awesome, some aren't. So I'm like, what is happening? We don't know. We're going to have to just watch and find out, I guess. And hopefully it will be good at the end. I think Filoni can salvage any doubts I have with that particular stuff. He seems to be our only hope for Star Wars at this point. But again, this looks like an example, side note, we're going to go on a side rant since we've got a lot of time on this game left, of Filoni being left alone. We had a lot of that with like Book of Boba and this last season of Mandalorian, where you could see a higher-ups decision, an abrupt decision came in and ruined a lot of the show. They had to do quick rewrites to get Grogu in there, where it was very obvious to me that Grogu was not meant to be in the show the way he was, especially in Book of Boba. That was not the plan. But they're like, no, you need to bring him back. And that caused a lot of rewrites and alterations to his original story that he had laid out. And you could see the quality suffer greatly. You even see that in Mando Season 3. They were kind of all over the place. Some of the Grogu scenes, you could see they went back and just edited them in quickly because the plan was not for him to be with Mando. And this is an example of let him make a show and just sit back and watch. Let's just sit back as as the Star Wars higher-ups. Just sit there, shut the fuck up, let him make something, and it comes out good. He'll make you money. Again, Disney, I know you don't listen to me. I get 4 views. But sit the fuck back and let him work. Don't tell him, well, we need this in there, we need this, we gotta bring this. No, we like this because it makes dollars. No, he will make you money. Just sit there and shut the fuck up and let him make you money. That's all I'm saying. And this is an example of how it's working. Most people love this. And the people I've personally seen hating on it, I feel like they're trying to stretch to really hate it. Like, it's the shit they're complaining about ain't that big of a deal. Like, especially when you compare it to Book of Boba, Kenobi, Mando Season 3. God, those were awful. They had some nice moments, yes, but for the most part, those shows were awful. I'm not getting that vibe with this show. Okay, what else? We've ranted too long. Hold on, let me scroll. We're in an awkward spot to scroll here. Let's see. I know I'm forgetting shit, and I still will forget shit.
Uploading override.
Someone said maybe since maybe he is. Let me just read it. Maybe Anakin didn't look like a Force ghost because it was the world between worlds. Maybe he only looks like a ghost in a normal realm. It could be. We don't know. We're all speculating. We'll find out here soon enough when it comes to that. Let's try to find something that's not world between world related or Anakin related. Surprise Zeb's not in the episode. Yeah. Think you'll see Ezra and Thrawn next episode. I think we'll probably. I think we'll see Thrawn next episode. I'm kind of going back and forth on that. I think we will see him. I think they're going to go a little quicker, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope so, anyway. I kind of think we're going to find out Ezra and Thrawn are possibly working together, or at least frenemies at the time right now. There's the question about the hyperdrive. How did Thrawn survive out there? Where did he get food and water? There's planets out there. They're not just going to some empty void. The whales would take them to a planet. They're in another galaxy, just like in real life, other galaxies would have planets. And again, his ships were disabled. They weren't all destroyed and completely useless. I would imagine he could find a place to go. I don't really think that would be that hard. So that I wouldn't put too much thought into, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe we'll just find them out there floating aimlessly in space. But anyway, Star Destroyers are big, and I would imagine they have a lot of supplies. But again, his crew, most of his crew would probably have survived on the ship as well. So I personally think they probably found a planet. We'll probably see them on a planet trying to rebuild the Star Destroyers. That would be my guess. We'll find them on some planet trying to rebuild or repair the Star Destroyers enough to get them kind of operable. And then now they'll be able to connect to the hyperspace rings and then come back. But who knows? All of our predictions have been wrong with the show so far. Not just mine, everybody. Nobody got Merrick right, so who knows? We're just speculating. Have fun with it. That's all I would say with that. Why did Ahsoka only use 1 lightsaber instead of 2? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. My only guess is since they're going through all the different stances, she just felt more comfortable going into the fight with 1 saber at that point. But again, we've seen her use 2 lightsabers in a lot of duels before, so who knows? Who knows, man? Ahsoka is changed too. I think people are forgetting that. They keep acting like she needs to be the 100% Clone Wars era one. I'm like, she's been through shit too. Things are going to be a little different. She was a teenager when we were watching her. Now she's a lot more trained, a lot more knowledgeable, so she's a lot more stoic with a lot of her expressions. That's another bit of hate that I haven't been getting for the Ahsoka show. She's like, she doesn't look like she did then. I'm like, she's an adult now. They're going to act a little different. She still has her moments, and I do like those moments. I want to see more of those moments. But she's not going to be exactly like the Clone Wars. Come on, you guys. Let's be a little logical about this shit. When people grow up, they don't act like they did when they were teenagers. And now, let's not get worked up. Again, not everyone talking about that is getting worked up, but there's some out there who I feel like are stretching to just find stuff to hate. And I'm mainly talking about those ones saying that, where I'm like, dude, you just No, I can't say what I'm about to say if it's gonna be a video. Again, who knows? Maybe my mic's not even recording, but hopefully it is. But man, I gotta go somewhere after this. But the sad thing is with my eye problem that I don't even know what the fuck is going on. I was like, okay, I didn't stream today because of that. I was like, let's try to stay off of electronics and screens for a while. So I've been looking at phones a lot less, looking at just YouTube a lot less. Didn't stream. Got on and we're like, we're gonna record a video. And of course, today's the day where we do that, and then the video didn't work, and now I gotta get on and record this video again. And we get into a very long match, by the way. The first video was only 14 minutes long, and now we're already at the 20-minute mark. Now we're gonna have to worry if Sogato is gonna freeze or not. Somebody's found the lightsaber combat very underwhelming. Merrick and Ahsoka barely lasted. I would imagine Ahsoka would shit all over Merrick. Especially now that we know he was just some some Night Sister magic. I wouldn't expect him to last very long. What else? Let's find more. We don't need to run out here. This guy don't make sense to me. It wasn't that good, to be honest. A lot of fan service. One, fan service isn't bad if done right. That's something we preached throughout all these shows. There's a lot of bad fan service in Star Wars. This is not it. Anakin showing up makes perfect fucking sense. Before he even showed up in this episode, I'm like, alright, Ahsoka's losing this as we're watching the fight. She's gonna lose this. This is where Anakin's gonna come in because she's gonna need a pep talk. That's not bad fan service. It fits. Luke coming in The Mandalorian was not bad fan service. You wanna know what bad fan service is? Putting Mandalorian in Book of Boba, putting Grogu in Book of Boba. And then having them have whole episodes. Because people want to see Grogu, want to see them together, if that's what the higher-ups at Disney thought. That is an example of absolute horrible fan service. Not this. And plus, again, fan service in itself is not bad. Everything's going to do fan service because it gets views. It's that simple. Like, that's not even a bad thing. Like, that, I don't know. Anyway. Man, I am dripping sweat, though, man. I'm still not fully, better. My cough's still bad, and if I don't have a fan or something on, my body just like immediately goes into fever mode. So we're not better yet, not fully. We're a lot better than the other day, minus this eye problem that came out of nowhere. Side note, any of you had that happen? Let me know, man. Any doctors out there? Any eye doctors? I know I've been needing to get new glasses though. I've noticed my vision has got a little more blurry over time, but I don't think that's the cause, though, but I don't know at this point. I'm trying to find a specialist out here where I can go run it by them and see what's up, but definitely not going today, though. If it was still bad, I would, but again, that's the worrying part about medical stuff. If you catch it early enough, a lot of the times it could be fixed. It's when you dilly-dally and then, I should have went and I didn't, so who knows? Anyway, hopefully this vid didn't freeze and hopefully the mic works. And I know, again, I forgot a lot of stuff that when I'm off stream, I'm like, I need to talk about that. And then I get on stream or on video here and completely forget. So anyway, the plan is to have a stream tomorrow for those who are interested in that. And most of you aren't, obviously. But for those who are, I do plan on attempting a stream tomorrow unless my eyes get worse. But so far today, they feel fine. My eyes are a little sore, but visually everything's fine. I don't have any problems. So I don't know what it was. I'm hoping it was just some stress / I didn't really sleep a lot the night before. It might just be my body was like, you need to fucking sleep, bro. I'm hoping. Who knows? Anyway. Let me know your guys' thoughts on what we talked about, and I'll see you guys tomorrow if everything goes according to plan. Bye. I swear to God if this mic didn't record, dude.